It was the jailing of former President Jacob Zuma that triggered the protests. The hashtag Free Zuma campaign quickly escalated and spiraled into the worst looting and social unrest the country has ever seen. The question that is still looming is whether this is still about former President Jacob Zuma or something far deeper and more nefarious.
Looting being right at all, because sizoba sihluphekile in the next 4 months. So besingena ha ke fihla mo Dinkloop Square re bone dishopo kaofela di vandalized everywhere go senyegile.
Some of us don't even know ukuthi sisasena yini emsebenzi because of this looting and excuse of Uzuma.
Nabagogo nabantwana abancane umntana under 18 umbona phethe amabhiya umntana umfundisana ahamba nomama.
You're watching Expressions, your #1 youth current affairs show. As a show, we are putting a very important and special spotlight on the impact of the looting, the social unrest, the rioting, as well as the vandalism, as well as infrastructure destruction that we've been seeing in our townships. But we are going to be on the ground in Soweto as well as in Alex. We are simply asking, what are young people saying about this crisis that is facing South Africa? What do they think the causes are? But looking at the devastation that has been caused to the township economy, what is the way forward? I'm your host, Jacqueline Mapala.
Now, hot off the heels of the unrest we've seen in the country in the past couple of days, see Expressions, why is it that young people are easily brought into what seems to be political battles? What do you have to say about the conversations that we're having, Lagu Expressions Namhlanje? Let's take a look at the first insert.
You're watching Expressions, your #1 youth current affairs show. And as you know, we are on the ground in Soweto, and we've been going from one mall to the next. We're in Diepkloof, we're in Bara, and right now we're in Maponya Mall, which is obviously a very different setting in terms of police presence, in terms of just police visibility. And now we're just going to be speaking to a young person who actually is saying that he wants to make sure that he protects this particular place and to make sure Uti Maponya Mall does not go down the same as all the other malls that have actually seen destruction and vandalism here in Soweto. But I think before I get into this conversation, very welcome. Thank you so much for chatting to us. Why was it important for you to be here? And why here and not the other malls, about DK and so forth?
All the malls are down. Maponya Mall hasn't been looted yet, hasn't been attacked yet. Now, we said we are inviting the community to come and stand and help us protect the perimeters of Maponya Mall and defend the last remaining mall in Soweto with our lives even. And that's why we are here, and that's why we'll still be here, and that's why we are ready with all that we have to defend what's left of this township economy of Soweto. And I want to tell something to those that loot. We are saying, young people, maybe the old people are scared, but young people are not scared. We are so not scared that we sleep here because we are waiting for the action. We are so prepared, and on our side, we have what they don't have. We have law enforcement in partnership with this cause that young people started. We have police presence like you can't imagine. We've got South African National Defence Force by our side. Now, us alone, we were enough to deal with these thugs because we were prepared amongst ourselves to die for the protection of Soweto. So what worse when we have such partnership? These people don't stand a chance. We're actually looking forward to the confrontation.
What do you think is behind this?
We live in a state of poverty. Our people reason with the stomach more than we do with the head. I'm not now saying or justifying their behavior. We're taking responsibility. We are saying we now know we were used as the community simply because of our position of poverty. People who open the malls, forcefully come out with guns, are not from our communities. We, just at the end, the bottom of the food chain, because we have to take and eat. Now, if we don't know who these people are, and they're causing so much terror in our communities, we definitely know it's not our communities. Now, the question is, who are they? Now, when we catch some of them, because we've caught some of them, and there's been on the media, some of them confess to say, I work for this person who said I must come loot this mall, and the people associate looting with hunger. Now, when I catch you, and you tell me that, let's call my boss, when did hunger start having a boss? So do you see where the dots don't connect? Now, I don't want to be the one saying this is where the problem started, because I was never part of any planning for looting. Those that loot, it's just a matter of time. We will catch all of them. I'm speaking for Soweto, not the country, because we are young leaders in Soweto. We will catch you. And if we don't catch you, it's either you going to kill us or we'll kill you. One of the two. But we'll catch you. And when we catch you, then the world will understand who you are.
So as we conclude this, what's the way forward? How long are you going to be here for? But even after this, the challenges that are facing young people don't stop.
Yeah.
So what is the future?
All right. So we're going to be here as long as the enemy is here. We're not playing games here. I can't tell you when this thing will expire. When does crime have an expiry period? It's not a product you turn around and say drink or use or eat before this date. As long as they are here, we'll be here.
What do you think is the role of young people in not just protecting spaces like this, but ensuring that something like this never happens again?
Young people have serious power. They just don't know. Come together, organize yourselves, form structures. We form Soweto Parliament. That's why we are able to lead in our communities, and the impact of that leadership is global. People are watching us globally, protecting what we love. This is not a hashtag thing. It's not a fame thing. It's a real thing.
Thank you very much, Lex. Keep safe, and thank you for the amazing work that you guys are doing. Sobering words from Untantla, also known as Lex, representing the Soweto Parliament, showing that young people are at the forefront of protecting what is actually belonging to the communities and our townships. We continue this very important conversation after the break. You are watching Expressions.
Sanbonani Kamalami Ngufikile wakampele. I'm from Alexander 17 number 65. Ngizoba street journal for today. Ngizobuza abantu ukuthi how do they feel about this littering like Alexander.
We have to go to other suburbs to go buy food, whereas nerenale mall mona re le sharp jano tshwanetse re patale di-taxi.
We've experienced hunger too much, especially like Alexandra, and I feel like it was about time the president is a chance izukuthi wayisikhala.
Was the looting about Zuma or was just a criminal element or something else?
Asitaba ya Zuma ba yo lesa Zuma ka toronko monna modimo wa sokola ke taba ya bogodu.
Silesi sindleka kula Alexander ay maka ya kuri Zuma ukhomwini or Zuma what inhlala vanhu va vele kuhluphekeni.
Kube bugu uzuma besoya angisho babazo Natal Rachel.
It is tough that the same leaders that are looters have to be the ones that are coming back to tell the looters to not loot.
Welcome back. You're still watching Expressions. Now we're still hot off the heels of the unrest that we've seen in the country over the past couple of days. Now during difficult times like this, it's very important to maintain the freedom of expression and platforms that allow members of the community ukuthi babe nesay. Kodwa what happens when such platforms are looted by members of the community? We find out from a station manager, Sase LXFM Utakalani, who speaks to us about our efforts to now rebuild. Let's have a look at the conversation. We're catching up with Uputu Takalani, who's the station manager of Alex FM, right here in what was a radio studio. Expressions today. Wow, it's very sad, eh?
Well, thank you so much and greetings to the viewers. This is a very sad state that we find ourselves as a radio station, the voice of the community. As we can see, now this is just an empty room with a very fully equipped state-of-the-art facility in this room. But today it is what it is, and it's very sad. The equipment that was looted with our immediate assessment tells us that it was plus minus 5 million, meaning it took us 27 years to raise 5 million to have the kind of equipment we had. I don't know if it's going to take us another 27 years to be where we were 3 days ago.
Takalani, speak to us about the role of Alex FM in Pagatini.
Well, Alex FM as a community radio station plays a very important role in the community. I mean, we create platform for young people in the community to come here, gain experience, skills, we train them so we can ready them for mainstream. And we also, provide the community with information and local content. Job opportunities are being announced in a platform like Alex FM. We create our platform to be a platform of conversations, a platform of engagement, so that the community itself can hold the executive to account when there are issues of service delivery, issues of electricity, and whatever issues that might be happening in Alexandra. Alex FM becomes the voice.
Why do you think the community did this?
Well, I think what really transpired, it was just a pure criminal activity. People who came and looted the station, which, by the way, belongs to the very same community, they just took advantage of the protest. This is very hurtful. I mean, as a young person, working here with fellow young people from the very same community. I mean, like I said, we have this Alex FM as a platform where young people from the very same community, we absorb them, give them opportunities, train them, and upskill them so that they can be ready, to pursue their careers in the mainstream like your SABC. So the very same community of Alexandra have silenced their own voice.
How does it make you feel, Ulusha, that normally spearheading isn't as fun and looting?
I'm saying to the youth of South Africa, in particular the youth of Alexandra, let us desist from doing this kind of things. These are barbaric acts that must be condemned at all costs. So we must find a way. I agree with them. There are issues. We are experiencing a high level of unemployment in Alexandra. But there are ways in which we must follow to register those kind of issues, not by looting and doing criminal activities.
How long is it going to take you guys to perhaps maybe be back on air?
Well, at this point in time, I cannot, correctly say it's going to take us this kind of a period to be back on air. Well, we are back on air as I'm talking to you now. There's a sister station called LM Radio in Sandton in Rivonia. They gave us a little studio so that we can, in the meantime, continue to broadcast, which we are very grateful. So there are colleagues in the industry and people from all walks of life, ordinary citizens who are coming through to want to resurrect Alex FM, and we are very much grateful. We have launched a campaign to rebuild Alex FM, and even a majority of the community members here in Alexandra, they are coming forth. I mean, yesterday there are community members who came in to clean their station. Remember, this station does not belong to me. It belongs to the very same community. So we are very much happy and grateful that the very same community, they are coming back to, claim what is theirs, and they see that whatever that transpired was wrong.
As Expressions, we make sure that we are on the ground, making sure that we are your hands, your eyes, and your ears when it comes to pivotal issues that affect you. And as you know, South Africa has been experiencing looting, vandalism, and a lot of destruction to property. What are young people doing to be the solution as we are seeing so much of this destruction?
I think I got you around 10 sizo cleaner, sizo susama glass, and try to bring back malls way to basically, because kunabanye who are in Jabulani, Dobsenville, Soweto youth heads get it themselves ukuthi bring back Soweto. Simple.
I volunteered ukuthi ngizoncedisa la ngikhona khona okuncane ukucleana hayi ngokuthi ngizwe ngabantu, but then bokunama poster neJozi FM beyisho ukuthi abafuna ukuvolunteera bangeza lana, and then into ngilethela.
It started in a group chat that we grew up in Diepkloof. I mean, we grew up in this place. Our parents work in these malls, so we made a group conversation that let's go clean up at Diepkloof Square, and then we lifted our brooms, our spade, our kharafs, and then we decided to come here and help and assist as the youth, because of what just happened is totally bad for Soweto. The economy, I believe, it's gone down. Businesses, unemployment is just rising, even crime has just risen in South Africa because of such things.
Nah, because ke community member, ke South African citizen, ke understand hore dilo tse di benefit a rona. Ka o santse ke batla gore ka borotho. Tlabe ke tla mo food lovers, ke government useless, I look at food lovers, but ele nna ke sentseng. So it's important for me because le nna ke go need at the end of the day.
We came here to clear up all the rubbish outside the premises of all the shops and out in the parking lot as well as outside the vicinity. The purpose of today was to let the whole world know that not all of us are looters. South Africans are not looters. South Africans want a clean environment. South Africans want to have seen the results of what they're doing, so they want to fix up what they did. Cleaning will not fix up the economic mess or the economic destruction that this has caused, but as a start, it's phase one. It's rubble, let's clean up the rubble. Tomorrow, let's get funding to rebuild the center that has helped so many other young people living in Soweto. You don't need to go to town anymore to go shop for whatever goods that you want. You could just walk across the street, but now it's no more. So the purpose was for us to rebuild Soweto, to restore Soweto, to clean and clear up all the rubble, all the bottles, all the boxes, all the polluted air that we see today. I think the vandalization happened because nobody in this community owns anything that is building this community. Okay, if you think about it, this is the center. How many Sowetans have shares in the center? None. So if I don't own it, I don't take care of it. Going forward, I would like to say the government must make sure any development that they develop in the community, they must make sure that people are a part of it. Not just with employment, but with long-term investment. Okay, people must be a part of the planning, the building, and people must contribute financially with your grant that you're having. There must be a program that say, okay, every month, once in 12 months, my 300 rands is going towards the building of this community. After 10 years, after 5 years, I'm going to get my dividends. If people know what they own or what they're going to get out of it, maybe they won't trash.
What is the way forward? What does the future look like for Soweto?
Way forward, for now, let's admit what we did. Number one, what we did was wrong. What we did was uncalled for. It was not excused. It had nothing to do with the former president. He didn't say people must come and do this, And what I always tell people that he's in jail, you're freeing him, but when you go to jail for what happened here, is it going to come and rescue you? Stop doing things for personalities, okay? A crime is a crime.
A deeply encouraging interview with Nkolisi as well as Taki, who is the station manager of Alex FM, who's actually reminding us that it is possible for South Africans and communities in South African townships to be able to rebuild. And of course, young people are saying they can turn things around and they can restore what has been destroyed. We continue with this also important conversation after the break. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome back. You're still watching Expressions. Now we continue to have conversations around the unrest that we've seen in the country. See Expressions namhlanje sikulethela yona as it happens, as you can see nala isikhona namhlanje. Now we continue to have conversations with stakeholders as well as speak to local business people who have been hardest hit by what we've seen in the country. We find out from them what is the cost for them to come back in business, if they can ever come back. Take a look.
I'm Angela and I'm the manager of the Protea bookshop that you see in the background. I've been managing the shop for 4 years. Besides ripping out every piece of electronic equipment in the store, they also took the opportunity of just throwing books into water with absolutely no idea of what the repercussions of that kind of behavior is. I think that the saddest part for me is that I think that the community has been robbed of a bookshop that many members of the Soweto community have grown to love. We've had many loyal customers. It's probably the biggest bookshop in Soweto, as far as servicing all the needs of the community is concerned.
Once we have restored and rebuilt this mall and many malls such as this, would you come back here? Would you continue where you sort of left off?
In my heart of hearts, yes, I can say that would be my innate wish, because a bookshop is invaluable.
Ngiyazithengisela estradini kana manje angikwazi nokustoka nginabantwana abasebenza abantwana bami, but I'm trying. Azange ngicabanga nokuthi ngizothatha something, anginaniki ngikhuluma nje endlini, ngiyazama estradini ukuthi ngithengise, but lento abayenzayo angithandi, angifuni uqamba manga. It's not right. Siyahlupheka sonke, but it's not necessary ukuthi sizothatha ukudla la.
In terms of the damage, give us a scope of how great this damage is. How long is it going to take to fully restore the malls, especially in these areas?
It's going to go into billions of rent to build. Some businesses may have been destroyed forever, never to come back. Some businesses may come back. I listened in the morning today that Checker store is saying it's closing 4 shops in townships. When we are committing to building and revitalizing township economy, it's a sad thing. Where are people going to get their pensions? If the post office is destroyed there in Diepkloof Square, the banks are destroyed, month end is going to be a crisis.
We continue our conversation about the impacts of the looting and the social unrest that we've been seeing in our townships. And of course, we're asking young people, what do they think about this particular crisis that is taking place? But most importantly, what do they think the cause of it is? Right now, I'm going to be speaking to Colin Malachi, who is representing the ANC Youth League, and he's also a member of Parliament. A very warm welcome to Expressions. It's good to have you and to see you again.
Oh, thank you very much for the invite.
You know, Colin, some of the young people on the ground that we had spoken to spoke about the unemployment grant for young people, the 350. Do you think that if that had been extended, that program had been extended, we might not be where we are right now?
Yes, I fully agree. One is that we've called upon the president that they must make this thing permanent. Until there's a permanent solution to create jobs for young people, every young person who's unemployed must have that grant to assist them to look for jobs, to print CVs, to move around. Now, it must be permanent in South Africa. It must not only because of COVID. Instead, it must be increased to 1.5 so that it assists young people to move around. No, I don't think it's about the free Zuma hashtag. I think mainly it's about people taking advantage of an opportunity that was put in place to vandalize. Because we know very well that majority of our people, because of the lockdown regulations and many other issues, their situations got deepened. Already they were in trouble because of high level of inequalities and poverty. But the lockdown regulations made it very well.
Okay, Oliver, I just want to know from you, what does the unrest we've been seeing mean?
Look, it means we're in deep trouble as far as socioeconomic standards in the country are concerned, which is now translated into a security crisis. It's true, as President Ramaphosa said in his speech on Friday evening, that these were planned insurrectionists who coordinated efforts to undermine the economy. But it's also true that a lot of people who saw the opportunity in the chaos decided to go and loot. I mean, you can't tell me that the 9-year-old boy who went into Mr. Price, the only thing he took was underwear and a pair of shoes, that is a planned, coordinated insurrectionist, right? There's absolutely no way that's the case. It should come as no surprise that an entire mall will be looted and burned to the ground. Now we have more than 160 malls looted and burned to the ground. Again, no surprise. I don't think this is the end of it. I definitely think that this will happen again and again and again up until we take care of the socio-economic problem in this country of the most vulnerable people.
Oliver, now you've added your voice into the many layers into the public discourse right now. In one of your articles, you did not mince your words in which you said you feel like the president needs to step down. Why?
Look, he's out of touch. Ramaphosa is not a president for this moment. I think, I'm not saying he's a bad leader, right? But every moment has its leaders. And this moment is not a moment where the leadership of Ramaphosa is good enough. And I honestly do think that we need particularly a younger leader.
We've come to the end of today's episode. I mean, it was a jam-packed episode. And we as Expressions want to vehemently express that we are against the looting that is taking place. And we encourage you as young people to not be part of the criminalism that we are seeing in our communities, because these are our communities. So be part of the change, be part of the difference, and don't be part of the criminality that we are seeing in our communities. Right, Nko?
Yep, be part of the change, and good change we mean, Muntomusha. Thank you so much for watching Namhlanje. What was very inspiring through all the chaos and confusion was seeing young people who came out to say that they will not be part of the looting. They will be protecting our buildings that are supposed to be bringing food onto the table for their families. We salute you, Muntomusha. Keep making that positive change. From all of us here at Expressions, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe.
Adios, muchachos.
Producer, wonderful Expressions producer. My producer is Mom Z. Good job, Thank you.